nice finish.
All right, guys, welcome back to the World Championship Series, European Premier League season number 2. We'll be jumping onto our last game in just a little bit, but before that, we have our interview with the victor of Group F, E even.
E.
It's Welmu. How are you doing, Welmu?
Very good, very good. I'm so happy now that I won my group.
I love your accent already.
Yeah, it's pretty strong.
It's pretty cool, man. I had to experience this Finnish accent for a long time. It's pretty awesome. All right, so, Welmu, first question for you. Going into this group with the likes of Ret, Thorzane, BabyKnight, etc., how did you feel that you could do, especially going up against BabyKnight at the very beginning and then the group overall?
Actually, I was like very confident that I would manage to get out. Like, as long as I won first set, I was pretty confident that I was going to get through, but I was quite nervous, so I was a little bit worried about that, but luckily it ended up working out good.
Okay, just to clear the water, you're 19 years old.
Yeah.
Are you full-time playing or not?
No, I'm
you
in
still study,
university.
right? That's right.
Yeah, I just finished off my first year in university.
So
but now I have holiday, so it's cool.
Is that one of the main reasons you could credit to your success today, that you had more time because you're not in school at the moment?
Well, a little bit, yeah. I could, like last week I played a lot, so I could focus more on practicing, but yeah, maybe a little bit.
So since school's out, this season 2 could be your season. If you keep practicing hard, let's hope so, right?
Yeah.
There was a period during season 1 where you came so close to qualifying for Premier League each qualification round, and then into Challenger season 2, you eventually qualified via a few of the Challenger leagues as well. There must have been a lot of frustration there for you.
Yeah.
And I don't know where I was going with this question.
How does it feel to get into Premier League today and be able to play in the round of 16 and come to Germany?
It's really awesome. Get to play more tournaments and do well. It's really awesome.
One question I have for you though is not too many people expected you to make your way through today. I think everybody pegged you as bottom 2. You know, if they weren't players themselves. Were you nervous to be able to have that chance to get to the round of 16? How nervous were you, if you were?
Like, I was like yesterday I was already getting quite nervous. Like when I was practicing, I was just quite nervous and like, not playing my best, and I don't know, I didn't really think about it, what other people think, how will I do, but like it was a very important match and I wanted to do very well, so I got quite nervous when playing, and I did some like big mistakes, and like I had to use my plan B against Red, but yeah, luckily it ended up working out.
Going into the round of 16, we already know 8 of the players that are going to be there alongside you. Are there any particular players that you would like to avoid or perhaps meet going into the round of 16?
Well, I think I want to avoid MVP. Everything else is fine, but MVP is so good. Like in ladder, like I feel quite like it feels like when you play against MVP, he's like so much better than everyone else. So yeah, I want to avoid MVP.
Okay. Last question on my behalf then. There's obviously a lot of people tuning in, watch your games today and listening to your interview right now. For somebody that they may not know too well, do you have any words for those people that watch your games today and that will watch you in the round of 16 as well?
Let me think for a moment.
It's okay.
Well,
you take your time.
Well, I don't know. Like, yeah, I have been. Well, I don't know. I play Protoss and I'm from Finland, and yeah, I have been doing good lately, and yeah, look forward that I do well.
That's right. You cheer for him.
Yeah.
You should say, cheer for me. Cheer for me.
That was a little bit lame, but
No, I'm very happy that you made it to the round of 16, and I hope sincerely you can continue to do well, Wilmo.
Thanks.
All right. So thank you very much, man. Congratulations for advancing on, and we'll see you at the live event.
Yeah. See ya.
See you in Cologne.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
That was a little cute interview, wasn't it? Very nicely conducted interview. Yeah, so do make sure to follow him on Twitter. If I'm not mistaken, it is NRS Welmu.
Yeah.
That's WELMU on Twitter to follow his progress. He was tweeting throughout the night, actually, on his games. He's a great up-and-coming Protoss player, only 19 years of age. Sorry.
It's important to note, though, also that generally what StarCraft 2 viewers see of Finland is Fuser, who isn't a normal Finnish person. Fuser is one of the most outspoken and loud Finnish people I've ever met. Generally, a lot of them are timid. And Welmu's a little bit timid, but so there's big contrasts there. Yeah,
I definitely think he's a little bit nervous, and I was like, all right, say something to them, and then didn't do it.
He's a cute little fella.
He is. So definitely, cheer for him in the round of 16. I'm sure that he's going to perform well. I think that his PvP, from all the different PvPs I've seen, is very fresh-bringing. It's very fast-paced. Lots of harassment, 3 different attacks at 3 different times, and 3 different attacks all at the same time too. Different styles of play. But anyway, enough of Welmu. We will see him alongside the other great, amazing players that we have in the round of 16 for Season 2 in this WCS Europe Premier League. But now it's time to focus on the final match of Group E today to find out who will move on to the round of 16 and who will fall short.
Yeah, it's 2 titans of the European scene going up against one another. It's going to be Ret versus BabyKnight. The winner advances on. The loser falls down to Challenger League, along with Mr. Thorzane, who's already fallen down as well. First map's going to be Neoplanet S to kick off this PVZ. Can you give us any insight as to how BabyKnight plays out his PVZs?
BabyKnight likes to open up straight away, very decisive with a full, well, out of all the series I've seen him play, loves to go full gateway pressure straight off the bat and then change it up. Because in the first game of the set, usually you come in like, I'll play my best game I can, and I'll see how it fares. BabyKnight's like, I'm going to try to be aggressive against you and put you on edge. And then we'll start to adapt his build around what he sees from that game 1. That's kind of been the standard-ish approach that we've seen from BabyKnight. But a lot of gateway expands, lack of scouting, already knows what he's going to do. The first map, though, Neoplanet S, may not be that, but it still definitely could be. Ret, on the other hand, though, we know what to kind of expect from Ret for sure.
Definitely. He's going to be opening up exactly how he normally would end up doing so, as we have spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner, the very man himself in the blue. He is Liquid Ret. And spawning up to the top right-hand corner as our red Protoss representing Denmark, he is Navi BabyKnight.
All right. Everything on the line now for the highest finishing Protoss player last season. Is he going to get through? Let's just have a look at who the hell is BabyKnight.
Who is this kid?
So who is BabyKnight?
Who is he?
BabyKnight, formerly a Dota player who moved into StarCraft 2 upon its release. And he was just a Protoss player until WCS 2012 came around, where he really made his mark internationally. He played in the Denmark Nationals. He then played in the Nordic Nationals, qualified himself for the Europe Finals, a miracle run where he ended up finishing 5th to 6th place, equal placing. Got picked up because he finished that high to represent Europe to fight in the Global Finals, or the World Championship back then it was called, in China. And from that point, started playing, getting picked up by Navi, has traveled to MLGs, has traveled internationally, made it to the round of 8 this season, or Season 1. Just a massive increase in performances since his results in the 2012 WCS. And I'm happy to see that success come out for him.
Yeah, he's a very nice guy. He's a very happy chap. And, well, as can Ret be. Ret, throughout his WCS Netherlands Nationals last year, placed 2nd. Unfortunately for him, he constantly fell to Grubby, who has been his nemesis for ages and ages and ages. And, well, that's little bit annoying. But as for Rhett, it was a little bit annoying going up against Grubby and having that mental block constantly against two base players that always caught Rhett off guard. Now, with BabyKnight looking at Rhett in general, knowing that his earlier game is his weakness, and we saw that against Wellmu.
Yeah.
Does BabyKnight go for similar tactics here to bust the Netherlands player?
I think that one of the weaknesses is Rhett is like he's like a snowball that's building and building up.
Yes.
At the start, it's kind of small. It starts to get stronger, and if you can stop it before it, enters the massive snowball stage, then that's where the key to success really lies against Rhett, unless you can do the very same thing with your economy and your production. A lot of the times, if Rhett plays that way, it's not possible for a Protostar Terran player to keep up unless you're Innovation or SOS, the highest Terran player and the highest Protoss player. Or, SOS Rain, whoever you want to call the highest Protoss player at that point. So I feel that BabyKnight's key to success will be to stop that snowball from increasing its size.
Definitely, definitely. And, well, the avalanche could occur if Rhett is able to gather that momentum. But for now, he's just adding on the extra 2 queens. He's getting that speed, knowing that his opponent has gone for a gateway opener here. And with that, there's not really a whole lot of room he can do anything to punish BabyKnight at this point. So this is purely for defensive purposes to make sure BabyKnight doesn't go for anything too crazy.
Yeah, BabyKnight went for a sentry here, which is taking away his gas from anything else. So the follow-up here should be 2 gateways, maybe a 3rd, depending on if he wants to spare the money to try to be aggressive against Rhett earlier on. The 3rd gateway is always going to be inside the main base because it cannot be hidden on the natural. It's too easily spotted by the Overlord appearing down here. If not, the very standard approach from this is going to be either Robotics Facility or Stargate. The most likelihood always Stargate.
And that does go down. So probably going to be the Phoenix opener here for BabyKnight once again.
Yeah.
He's already shown good Phoenix play throughout both seasons, in fact, of WCS thus far. And Rhett, for now, just positioning himself nicely with all of these Zerglings. He's scouted out pretty much the majority of the map with those Zerglings. So fantastic awareness by Rhett thus far. But this Mothership core causing him a little bit of a pesky problem.
Yeah, a bit of a problem. Brings down the hit points a little bit. Maybe this could turn into some kind of follow-up if a Void Ray is constructed. If we see a couple of Zealots made from these gateways or something along those lines. I think that was his plan because this probe was trying to escape there. If a Void Ray gets built, yeah, okay, so what his follow-up was going to be was to try and get that probe out, try to build a pylon. The Mothership here, Mothership core, oh, actually, I think it took too many hits earlier.
Yeah, I don't think he can win that fight.
Yeah, he took a few too many hits earlier on. So what he wants to do is get out now. Ooh.
Oh, dear me.
God.
That sentry is going to go down before he even uses any energy, but no, he decides to divide himself up just a little bit there. Kill off both of the sentries. Potentially, that sentry can't live, surely.
Well, it's going to die after, unless he just decides to go for probes.
Force field dissipates. Well, it was recharging energy on its shield, so he's going to try and go for the probes. You're right. That Void Ray, I think the Link spotted it, right?
Wait, that Void Ray is going to kill the Queen and then the hatch. There's another Queen being built, though, but still, with the Mothership core too, he's going to try and kill the hatch here. So if he kills the hatch, forget everything that these Lings just did. They killed 4 probes, forget it. Just forget about all of it. This Queen's going to go down so fast here with the Mothership core and the Void Ray.
Yeah, it really is.
He's just, no, target the Queen. I think he needs to target the Queen here.
I think he needs to as well, and he does. He even throws down the Time Warp to just make sure that it cannot escape from this point on. There's going to be another Queen popping right in this position.
He's going to get it. He's going to get it. There's another Queen coming. Another Queen making its way across creep. He's got to focus down this new Queen as soon as it pops out. Is Rhett going to be able to hold this on?
Oh, he actually retreats out here. I think if he brought down the Queen instantly, then maybe, but the Void Ray gets pushed on back. Great Time Warp usage, but in the end, it did not do the full damage it wanted to do.
Yeah, he really wanted to bring that hatchery down if he'd got that down, but it didn't happen. And now that the damage that was dealt earlier, those 4 drones, 4 probes that were killed, are now taking effect. It's 60, gosh God, Rhett, 66 drones versus 42 probes. A very high drone point now. Roach speed, and Roach is only just beginning. His defense was only Queens. Minimal defense. Trademark Rhett. But what we're going to see from BabyKnight, though, is he's going to focus. BabyKnight is not a fan of Colossus recently in Protoss vs. Zerg. Much so focus around Blink, which is what he's going to get with the Twilight Council, +2, and Immortal production will begin from the Robotics Facility as well.
And we've seen similar musings of that from a lot of other European players as well. And, you know, the Colossi, in this matchup can be full of danger. Really, if you end up allowing your opponent just to say, Roach Hydra Viper, go! Those Colossus get dragged on forwards, get picked off so easily. Deviating up your composition and making something different makes it really hard for your opponent to actually just instantly snap the finger and do that kind of play.
So if for anybody that may not know exactly how StarCraft works, and doesn't know who's winning, I'd say Ret is winning at this point in the game. He's did damage with the Ling run by, killed a couple of sentries, killed a couple of probes, kept his third base alive, rendered that Void Ray pretty much useless so far. Has picked off a couple of Ullars, but not much else, and has now even delayed his opponent's third base as we see BabyKnight moving across the map. This is not for a kill. This is not for an attack so much. He's got to be careful here, as Ret has a lot of roaches. He does, of course, have the mothership. Okay, I know what he's going to do. He's going to try and get position. He's going to force field above the Spore Crawler. If you look at the third base, he'll force field above the Spore Crawler, and he's going to try and pick this off.
It's worth
He's going to use force fields to hold off Ret. Oh my god, Ret's out of position!
Whoa, he's way out of position.
He has no creep down there, no Overlord. This is going to work.
Oh.
Force fields are going to stop Ret from coming in. He's going to pick up the hatch and just recall out. There they are.
And it's going to go.
He needs one more just down to the bottom left. There it is. And just get out, man. Just don't lose that. And then he's out. Nice.
That's not the best position here for Ret to be in. Losing that base now and saying, well, you killed my base. I'm going to now march across the map with the entirety of my roaches and try and make something work. Oh, there's a burrowed Ling at the third base there.
Oh, you cheeky guy. I didn't even notice that myself. Really delaying that third from coming down. But the problem is that, as cool as a move that was, there are a ton of roaches and there's Hydras coming down. Ret, I think with the amount of units he had, maybe had to push, 170 supply to 115. The third base not coming down for so long has really hindered his economy. Ret may just be able to take the game here no matter how cool that move just was.
He's going to try and establish that base once again. And the Hydras, they do not have muscular organs by the looks of things. So any engagement that he would want to go for is going to be very, very slow. But it looks like he's separating himself up here and wants to push him from both sides at the same time. He has to time this out perfectly if he wants to make it work.
Yeah, his force fields have to be so good. He's just got no mortals, a single Void Ray.
They're converging. They're converging. Good force field separate out quite a few of those units at the bottom, but the roaches come in from the back as well there. And that Void Ray does end up going down. That's a lot of firepower that BabyKnight loses instantly. And the roaches, the Stalkers are blinking back into the roaches after being weakened from the frontal force. BabyKnight gets ripped apart.
BabyKnight runs back to his third where 3 sentries get whopped in. Please close the door, please. And they try, but it's not going to be enough here as the Hydras come in. And with the Hydralists making their way to this third, this is going to be the end of BabyKnight's first game. A couple of mistakes leading to a major difference in supplies we can see. And if the third base falls, there is no way he's coming back whatsoever.
No, the Stalker's still kind of bottled up at the back here with a few more warping in, trying to retreat on out, but the third base bulldozed entirely by these roaches and Hydralisks. And now, I mean, BabyKnight, he's trying to get more units out where he can, but the Spire's going down behind this to deal with Colossus follow-up. There's no way that BabyKnight can hold. It would take a miracle here for him to really hold on to this second base.
The only way he could somehow hold this off and win the game, if there was some way to do that, then Protoss players would win every single tournament, man.
Yeah.
With the amount of units coming in, the only way that this could happen for him is if Ret just threw away units after units after units and lost to a counterattack eventually. The probability of BabyKnight winning this is so low. So low. Corruptor's coming in to deal with the Colossus now and all these roaches piling in. BabyKnight set himself up for some hard work if he wants to be able to make it through to the round of 16, just like he did last season.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a tall task indeed here. BabyKnight now trying to get out the Colossi numbers he wants to really try and make this work. I guess, admittedly, if there was one way to try and make this army more powerful, then that would be one. But the Corruptors are already on the way for Ret as well. His army is always going to be versatile enough to kill off and pick up BabyKnight.
Yeah, I mean, 170 supply to 110. This third base was delayed. There's just been so many small things that gave Ret the edge. You know, that initial Void Ray attack, the Lings getting in, losing sentries, third base being delayed for ages from creep, and then a bird zergling. It's just too many small hits that BabyKnight had to endure during the early stages of this game, which have pushed him too far behind. And what we end up seeing now with Ret collecting his force together is one last attack at 200 supply. The easy targets of the Colossus, everything else will fall so fast here. so fast.
And now just moving on forwards with the rest of this, even bringing in a few Lings at the back here to try and go for that counter, or at least even just the run by. But Ret, with this force, should be able to vanquish BabyKnight. He's trying to get in with these Lings, but not really making much of it.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to give the valiant effort for BabyKnight for just trying to stay in this game. It's worth so much to try, even though the probability is so incredibly low. If you can make it and make an improbable comeback, then that is so worth it, man. But look at it now, with the Corruptors just smashing through the Colossus, the Hydralisk being able to do what they want. GG, as Ret picks up map number 1 in a quite convincing fashion, I'd go as far as to say. But now BabyKnight needs to win these next 2 games in a row. It's that simple.
Good corruptions there at the end as well, just to make sure that those Colossus would die off very quickly. But I feel now that this is where a Protoss player says, it's time to go back to the 2 base all-ins, guys, and try and make it work. It was funny how the Wellmu versus Ret series played out. There was macro game into 2 base all-in, into 1 base all-in. I don't think we're going to see exactly that decline in how many bases somebody would have in this series, but I think that BabyKnight probably would go for something aggressive here.
The second map is Belshir Vestige.
Okay,
so,
plays against it a bit.
You know, it's a bit of a tighter, smaller map here.
Yeah.
You know, anything is possible for BabyKnight, but the thing is, the most important thing is he's going up against a player who, at first you say, you know, he always defends with minimal units. Maybe I should do it. And then he defends it, and you're like, I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have done it.
Wow.
And there are so many players out there, I promise you, pro players, if they're watching and listening, so many of those have gone through that mentality. Let me try. He doesn't get a roach for him, maybe. And then you do it, and then you're like...
Didn't work, man.
When Ret was in his prime, back in 2011, I'd say, for StarCraft 2, when he won the European BattleNet Invitational, basically that's his game plan. That was his plan. And that's what happened, and why he won is because Protoss players and Terran players and even Zerg players said, all right, I can't beat him in a long game. I need to all-in him. And every time he stopped it, and that's how simple his games played out. Defend all in, win the money.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
But nowadays, there's so many different options, so many different types of options. Back then, it was like, all right, a Protoss all-in's like Blink 2 base all-in, or
Blinker
an 8-gate, or like something crazy. You know, in 2011, Immortal all-ins weren't even created back then in 2011.
That's true.
And then Ret was easily able to defend them. But now there's DT build, there's Blink builds, there's Immortal Colossus all-in, there's Immortal play, there's Phoenix all-ins, there's Void Ray all-in. There's a lot of different types of all-ins that Zerg players can experience. And like I mentioned earlier on, can't defend them all.
Nope. So going on to Belshir Vestige now here. Will we see BabyKnight try and utilize something like that, or will he use the map to his advantage and get that 3rd base up and running and good to go? We shall see as we jump into game number 2 here between these 2 titans of the European scene. And spawning up to the top left-hand corner as our Zerg, currently 1 game up, he is Liquid Ret. And spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner as our Red Protoss, representing Denmark, he is Na'Vi BabyKnight.
The crowd goes wild. All right, so let's try to figure out now how this can work out for BabyKnight. If he's able to pull the comeback, it would be absolutely fantastic for him. But also, I mean, if we look on the other side of things, if we see Ret be able to advance into the round of 16, who wasn't able to do so last season, round 32, fell short 0-2. Fell last place, if I'm not mistaken, in his group. And he has that opportunity to move forward now, which would be great for him. I really believe that it's one of the biggest motivators for a player like Ret. 27 years old. At that point, you don't have the eye of the tiger when you're losing. At 19, 18, 17, 16 years old, you're like, all right, next time.
Next time.
Next time. But when you're 27, it's like do I gotta keep playing this game? Like, do I need to think of other options now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 27 years old, and you know that's that's you know not the oldest, but it is getting old in StarCraft terms. So when it comes to losing, you get demotivated rather than excel to do better.
And in the end, Rhett, realizing in game 1 that his opponent was going for a gateway expand, has assumed that that's going to be the same thing, and he goes for a hatchery first.
Yeah, I think BabyKnight does the same thing every time. I'd get a gas next as well and then go spawn and pool. I mean, it's very rare that BabyKnight differentiates his builds. They're always the same, always gateway expanded. It's the difference. The twist on the build is always, after the Nexus is down, does he add on 4 gateways or 3 or faster tech or, you know, something else? That's where the deviation comes in for BabyKnight. So this is perfect. It's like the best build. You can even, to be honest, you can go ahead and try to get 3 hatcheries extracted, then spawn and pool. Like, did something Jadong did a lot against Naniwa and DreamHack. And then Naniwa was like, dude, you just got to stop this. And then did the proxy 2 gate.
And yeah, we all know how that played out in the end. But the funny thing is that with Rhett in Season 1, the way in which his group played out, you mentioned that he placed last in his group, and indeed he did. That was to Straylock first, who took what some people would have considered an upset at that point.
Yeah.
And then he lost to Titan. So in essence, aside from losing to Wellmu, his group here in Season 2 has kind of gone a very, very similar way in terms of the opponents he's had to face, or at least the races, etc., and those levels. But in complete reverse, defeating Thorzane so well, and now having to go through the Protosses. So it's a complete reverse situation here for Rhett thus far.
All right, so the Nexus is down. Let's see if Rhett can, you know, get past that barrier that he encountered last time. As he does get Zergling speed nice and early. As mentioned in one of the other games, is that it is there to stop any probes moving out early. Rhett's been doing a really good job of that, actually. Last game on Neoplanet S was one of the biggest things that slowed down that Void Ray attack, is that he stopped the probe. And then I think he did it well against Wellmu in other games too. So there's the follow-up. It's just going to be single, then second gateway coming down to create a wall.
Is that a full wall?
No, there's a gap. There should be a gap in the middle of the both gateways.
Oh yeah, okay. All right, a little bit of a ruse there for me, but for now, you're right. With that, just the 3 gateways on the way. Now, what do you anticipate from that point on?
From here is, well, I was going to say like a forge, but an extra gateway. So the 4th gateway comes in.
The probe's
what is it spotted there?
I don't think the probe was spotted. Oh, you mean
the Overlord, did it not see it? Did it not fly right past it? It did. It sees it. So he now knows. He sees the probe being built. And at this point, if I'm Rhett, I just build units, man. Are you 29 drones? Whatever. Yeah. Stop this attack. The thing is, if it's a fake out, that's the thing that BabyKnight doesn't know, is Rhett droning or not. 12 lings were made. Does he keep on building units here? He goes back to drones.
Well, moving out with the sentries, that's a big indication as to what BabyKnight really wants to do.
He's got 1 zealot. No, he hasn't. He's got 2 sentries and a mothership core. Warp gate's not quite ready. It's almost ready. So let's see. He's not, you know, taking the gases yet on his. Okay. I think he's not gonna commit to this. It was way too easily spotted.
Oh, the Zerglings, they're gonna be able to get in.
Oh, the sentry block comes in, and he needs a force field as soon as it comes. Okay, good block.
Ooh, close.
But yeah, he's definitely not committing to this.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Those amount of Zerg, but then again, he has 3 oh no, that was only 2 pylons. I thought the ship core was a pylon on the minimap then for a second. He's actually throwing down 2 pylons at the back here.
Yeah, but it's not spotted, but the link should, no.
Oh.
Yes, okay, they do spot it, so this is a little bit weird for him to try to continue through this. The Zealot sentries are coming. Unit production's begun again. So Rhett's like, okay, if you're going to do it, then fine. No creep spread between the bases, though, but a lot of units out.
Yeah. I mean, having these roaches already out to actually greet this attack is very, very annoying here for the Protoss. Generally, you would have those roaches popping out as the attack came along.
So much gas in the back because he's mining from 4 gases here, BabyKnight.
It's like a big fake out.
It's so weird. It's like he's not doing it, but he is doing it, and now he moves forward here. The mothership core isn't there, so he could lose everything on this 3rd base. He keeps the force fields up at home, and he can just keep on warping in. All right, let's see if he's able to pick off this hatchery. That's the goal here.
Good force fields, though, so far. Do keep a few of those roaches back, but still he can't contend with it. He doesn't really have that much firepower, especially since he's had to pay so much attention to his wall back at home.
600 gas in the bank and no tech from BabyKnight. This is not a good game. This is not a good game for him. Stalker gets warped in. He's going to try and bring this down. 8 more lings are coming in. He's going to try and bring this 3rd hash down. He knows that It's like a gambler. It's like you put $10 in, you lose it, then you put 20, you lose it, you put 40, you lose it. And he keeps on investing in this. And he's going to try and break his way through here. He's only got 4 gateways at home. He's got his forge on the way. He's meeting up with the rest of his units. More units get invested into here. He's really hoping that Rhett's like, all right, he's backed off. He's going to tech now. But that's not what's happening.
Yeah, with the layer now morphing in as well here for Rhett. Rhett just feels very, very comfortable about going
Rhett's
up
still
tech-wise.
droning though, right? He's at 10 roaches, 9 lings.
Oh, he's moving more roaches
No
now,
spines, nothing. I think he may be able to break this. Maybe the gambling habits of BabyKnight may work.
And that +1 weapons, well, I don't think it's going to be finished up anytime soon. The Twilight Council goes down as well, though, here. As Force Fields, as well as Time Warp, pushes on forward, catches a good amount of those roaches on one side, even forced to bring off the Queens, but another trap catches a few of them.
All right, let's see if he's going to be able to do this. I think that Rhett may have overdrawn. I think he fell for the trap that BabyKnight wanted him to fall for here. 750 gas in the bank, so much gas.
Dear.
If he doesn't bring this down, Rhett's evacuating the drones.
Oh.
He's just going to give it up. 13 roaches on the way.
How has this a 4-gate aggression been able to work out almost the 11-minute mark?
It's so weird, and I think Rhett's kind of fallen for it, expecting this not to be able to happen. There's a Twilight Council coming down. He'll get Blink. He'll get +2 to make sure he can finish this game off after killing this hatchery, man. Wow.
Strange, strange stuff here at ESL High, as even that hatchery is going to end up falling down now. He's trying to get out as many roaches as he can on these 2 bases, along with Gleary Constitution as well. But the Robo going down behind this for BabyKnight, and the fact that he can probably do a lot more space control at the front here with a few sentries, it's the roaches, man.
I think it's so difficult for if you gave this replay to a professional analysis, right?
Yeah.
And said, all right, just watch this replay. He'd be like, and you took the play names away. He'd be like, what is this game? Like, really, what is this game? But it's mind games more than anything else here. Because it's like, all right, am I going to go again? Am I not going to go in? You're not scouting me, so you should be joining, right? I'm going to go again. No, I'm not. I'm going to go again. And that kind of, that's what's messed with right here. That's what really messed with him to lose his hatchery more than strategically outplaying. It was just very simply mind games.
Very, very much so. And now force fields do go down. He could bring some of those sentries down quickly if he wanted to with these roaches, but does he have the firepower to vanquish off all of these stalkers in turn? Actually, the roach is not doing too badly, but in the end, despite having the concave, oh god, this is going to be so close, but actually no, the stalkers just powering on through. And, well, Rhett does have still a lot more reinforcements.
Yeah, but he's only on 2 bases. He doesn't have that 3rd hatchery, which is able to give him the power he needs.
And 2 gates extra just finished up here with BabyKnight banking a lot, so he's going to be warping in even more aggressively very soon.
Yeah, he's looking to finish the game with +2 and Blink. That's his goal at the moment, to finish the game very, very shortly to go to game 3. Because he is currently trailing this. Remember, if BabyKnight messes this up, 3 sentries in the middle of the map get caught. 1 gets caught, should I say. 2 have to waste their force fields to get away. Rhett with just roaches, though, with good micro, and we know BabyKnight's got it. We saw it earlier.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for him to really kind of break against this once again, though. Time Warp as well as Force Fields, great synergy, will actually lock a few of those roaches in and kill them off. And they have to retreat away for now. Rhett's trying to battle it out, though, trying to fight back, trying to get that economy up and running once again.
Well, he does have his +1 about to finish, but +2 is about to finish for Protoss, and Blink is now ready. Time Warp was used there in the middle of the map.
I guess if he had muscular augments and bought time to get some Hydralisks out, then that could be fine. But I don't think he's ever going to get given that opportunity.
No, look at these Stalkers doing so much damage. Just single Blink back, and he'll win this fight.
Ooh.
And he's already won it. Rhett evacuates and goes back to 2 bases. Again, tries to bring up his 3rd base on the other side of the map. And then, you know, BabyKnight can just switch focus directly for the heart of Rhett, or go back to switch to the right-hand side to go for his 3rd again. Either way, this is a very weird game. BabyKnight's now thrown down a Nexus after realizing he's doing a lot of damage. He's got the Robotics Bay coming down.
This is just too much here for Rhett now. 132 supply to 130 of BabyKnight, very slowly. And +3 weapons even on the way, as well as a 3rd base. BabyKnight knows he's done the damage to now play this out. And Rhett, scrambling, man. He is scrambling, trying to get those Hydralisks up where he can. But even with Roach Hydra, against that many Blink Stalkers, we talk about critical mass, and this is pretty close to critical mass.
Yeah. All right, this is going to be maybe the last fight. Great force fields on the left.
Yeah, definitely, along with Time Warp as well. Look at the surface area that BabyKnight is currently covering with all of these Stalkers. Any kind of Blink back. Oh, look at this great position.
amazing position here for BabyKnight, really keeping his dreams alive in this tournament. As he brings down the third again from Ret, struggling here. As you said, has managed to squeeze out quite a few Hydras, but BabyKnight's got over his Colossus coming down. He's got a third base up and running. It looks like he may just kind of keep map presence, but build up a very powerful army back at home too. Yeah,
does he end up... I mean, I don't think he has to go back home at all with this army. Just keep denying the third. But I guess he probably just waits for 2 Colossus with Thermal Lance and then goes, because there's no way Ret can be realistically on 2 base, making Roach Hydra, and then trying to go for Corruptors as well to deal with the Colossus.
Yeah. Hydra's moving down now. Let's see how well these can do. The Colossus, man, just with Thermal Lance and +3 attack now.
Yeah. And another set of force fields will trap a few of those units in the front, force the retreat back once again, and Ret now down on supply.
Ret, what a warrior, though, you know, in this game. Like, he's been rebuilding the third base up and up and up, continually trying to do that. Just, you know, superb resilience from Ret.
Just following these armies around in the middle of the map. There hasn't been a whole lot going on elsewhere. It's just been straight engagements from straight engagements. And I mean, I don't blame BabyKnight in the slightest for that. There's no real need for him to, you know, split up some units and go elsewhere, because he knows he can take the straight up fight, especially with a second Colossus about to actually come along here and help out the first. This is... Poor Ret, he's only at +1 weapons with +2 on the way, but +3 for this entire army is so strong.
It's very strong against just +1 attack at the moment.
Yeah, and the Mothership Core will end up falling. He blinks back here into a more defensive posture, but again, whenever BabyKnight wants to take that straight-up engagement, Ret is going to have a hard time.
Yeah, and we see the shield's been upgraded now too, which means he's probably just going to focus over to get into Archons. It's also great for the Blink Micro as well here, just to survive a little bit longer and then jump back again.
And Ret tries to push on forwards. Oh, but he loses a lot of the army. Great force fields also pin him in there as well. And BabyKnight now takes that win. GG, 1-1 is the score. And it all boils down to one map.
Yeah, one map to decide who moves on to the round of 16, one to decide, unfortunately, who falls down to Challenger League. A little bit sad at this point just to see, you know, either one of these players make their way through or fall back down.
Right, and the final map is, what do we have as the final map? Star Station. It's going to be a 2-base all-in again, I think.
What 2-base all-in, though?
What 2-base all-in? Do I go for Blink again, like I did with Wellmu?
I don't know.
I don't think... All right, I'm going to do it, whatever.
Blink?
Let's go Blink. I don't think
like
he will.
A 2-base
I don't know why
Blink
I'm doing
play?
this.
Okay. I don't know.
Can I change now?
I think BabyKnight will try to play 3-base, actually.
Yeah?
I think because his unit compositions are normally in a normal game very different from a regular Protoss player, and he likes to play large amounts of units, Immortal, Sentries, and that could work well for him. But then again, it's the test. Do you want to try that out? Do you want to try to play your normal game here, or try to bring Ret down before he's ready? In this game, Ret never really had the defense up, you know, for that big, prolonged attack, I suppose you could say. So I don't know. It's very difficult to call here between these two players. But I think that BabyKnight would edge through. I think that I'm going to say BabyKnight to win this game. I'd like to see Ret do well, though. I really would like to see him do well.
Especially since he's on the cusp right now.
Yeah.
Where, again, he failed in Season 1 in the round of 32. He failed pretty disastrously. But now, after that great series against Thorzane, and being pipped at the post by Wellmu in game number 3, if he loses here, that's a little bit heartbreaking for him.
All right, so Star Station is going to be the next map, the last game of the evening here, as we get ready to conclude Group E, to get 2 more players from the second half of the round of 32 to join the already qualified 8 players. We'll have 10 within the next half an hour, and we'll see who's going to be the 10th player to join.
As we have spawning up to the top left-hand corner as our blue Protoss. Tying things up, he is Na'Vi BabyKnight. And spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner as our red Zerg, representing Team Liquid, he is Ret.
All right, let's put our brains together. And actually, look at this. BabyKnight, for the first time in many times, is going to throw down a pylon on the low ground. This is a little bit weird. We don't see this too often from him.
Hmm.
He's going to focus more on... I wonder if...
Is this for It's kind of far forwards, that pylon. A little bit further forwards than I was expecting.
I mean, if he cannon rushes Ret, if he got Ret goes hatchery first.
Yeah.
This is cross position only. Send that as probe very early though, right? So.
Yeah. It is
I don't
cross
know.
position only.
I mean, it depends. You remember the first thing we said in the previous game is that BabyKnight really doesn't change things up. Really doesn't change things up. So Ret's expecting to try to go hatchery first or something here. BabyKnight moves in, and Ret's just going to see this nice and early. Knows that he cannot go hatchery first with this probe here.
Yeah, and that forces him to do other things, which is that spawning pool that will go down right now.
Yeah, it's just going to be like a Nexus first here.
Yeah, I still think that the pylon's slightly more further forward than I was expecting. I mean, oh well, it's a minor detail. It is very minor there. As BabyKnight saving up his money, getting that Nexus first going, and it gives him the opportunity to really ramp up his economy very quickly in comparison to games number 1 and 2, where it's been the complete opposite.
The complete opposite, yeah. I mean, you'll actually let that hatchery get down a little bit earlier. But with the Nexus first coming down, BabyKnight is going to focus more on a traditional game. So I think that he will try 3 base.
Yeah.
He will try Mortal Sentry with Blink Stalkers too. If his micro's good and his force fields come down strict as well, then it could work out well for him. I think, yeah, I was looking at the pylon wall. I thought that the Forge could fit left, and there's a gap there for the Zealot. And then to the right-hand side would probably fit a gateway. And that's like a full wall off there.
Yeah, seemingly so.
Yeah, there's the gateway, and then there's a little gap there for the Zealot.
Okay. Well, yeah, it works out nicely in the end. And now just keeps himself easily retained and easily happy. Probably throws the cannon right behind the pylon as well, just to make sure that it's a little bit more fortified in that regard. I've always had a fear of having pylons in my wall, man. I have for a long time. I had that.
It's one force field though that covers the Zealot and the pylon. So as long as you're strict, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah,
if it's just one force field. 3 hatcheries total now coming down for Ret. No gas whatsoever. BabyKnight though, with this build, it's very easy for Ret to pick up on timings. Like he can take his gases, I'd say, just before the 6-minute mark here to get ready for any type of all, and there can't be anything fast. Which is why Ret can really focus on 3 hatcheries, no gas, lots of queens, good creep spread, lots of drones.
Yeah.
But the probe on the right-hand side is being tracked down, so it's not like he can build down a pylon or something to be hidden for a +1 attack. That may be something that BabyKnight goes for.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying. Ending up losing that probe potentially. There's the opportunity that it could get back, but I think with 2 Lings there, it should end up going down. Just 2 more hits, and that Zergling should chase it on down there. But the Cybernetics Core is in a spot where it's interesting because it's easy to really track what that Cybernetics Core is doing with the Overlord positioning. So
exactly what Ret's looking at.
Yeah.
Staring down on that Cybernetics Core, would love to poke in to check the Forge, but I think this is just going to be Stargate play, unless we see like a 2-base all-in where we see the robotics facility come down. We'll find out very shortly now as he approaches the right gas count to throw down a tech structure. We could see him just get +1 attack.
Ooh.
He got +1 attack. We could see, okay, from this position, this more so is like a major 6 gateway attack, 6, 7, 8 gateway attack with +1.
I even got that 3rd gas.
He's not getting tech at this point.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice to actually churn his gas straight on into that.
Oh,
Whoa,
that's
probe.
what. Okay, so it's not going to be extra minerals thrown into the gateways. It's going to be for a fast 3rd.
Yeah.
Really greedy fast 3rd. There's an overlord there that he sees.
Oh, Zergling. He spots it as well. Well, I mean, he spots a probe there at least.
Yeah, this is... And Ret's going in and be like, is he trying to go for a super fast...
10 Lings are in production. 4 Overlords on the way as well. Just straight into units to try and pressure this, knowing what's going on. It even starts speed there, but...
Oh, a fast 3rd is definitely the choice. It's been thrown down. So 10 Zerglings is to chase away Zealot Stalker pressure or anything along those lines. But Ret now needs to identify he is playing against a 3rd Nexus. He hasn't seen it yet. It could have been a fake. Twilight Capsule comes down, so he's going to get +2. He's going to get Blink. And he will play without big units. At the moment, for the time being, without Immortals, without Colossus, without Stargate units, just Gateway units to try and defend onto this. The Roach Warren's down as well. This is the point where Ret should probably throw down a macro hatch. His economy's so good, he's got so many minerals, just to be able to power up more. A perfect time to throw down a macro hatch. 900 minerals in the bank?
Oh, yeah. definitely.
He's got 19 lava, which can obviously be a lot of units here too. But macro hatch and a lot of units is a winner-winner situation.
And the +1 actually is going to time out quite nicely with +2 if he wants to go for it. I mean, technically, is that not a huge gas investment if your opponent actually wanted to pressure? But he still hasn't seen the third base.
He's got no layer. He kind of knows. He saw the probe. He kind of seen no tech. He kind of knows. Like, look at the amount of units that are coming in. 38 lings and 8 roaches. Going to stream across the map to break down this third. BabyKnight, oh my god, this is such a stressful situation. Because Rhett now is coming in with everything he's got. Everything. And this is a lot of units. 18 more lings coming in. The evolution chamber will be catch up with upgrades. The layer can get roach speed after. But look how many units.
It's so hard to defend that location. All he has is 4 sentries and 2 stalkers. Yes, he just had warp gate tech finish up. Well, in terms of getting those warp gates powered and good to go. But now, with 1 cannon and that alone, how does he hold this?
He's pylon blocked at 78 here as well.
Oh.
He's got photon overcharge. He's gonna. This Nexus is probably gonna fall.
Those Zerglings stream on in here. Force fields go down to try and prevent those Zerglings from getting the surface area on this gateway force that they really want to get. But even the roaches just mosey on around them here and kill off absolutely everything. BabyKnight is in tatters at this third base. Even more Zerglings actually stream on in. Not much energy left for force fields. Those are the last ones he's going to be able to use here. But there's still Zerglings on the other side and they kill everything off.
Right, what a great move here. Picking apart his opponent's build precisely, building the right units to stop it and downforce the Nexus. What a great play here by Red. And now he's got his layer. Now he's got his hydrogen and his +1 attack in. This is just absolutely crisp play. A second evolution chamber saying, well, why the hell not?
Very, very well done by Rhett now. Even, BabyKnight supply blocked at this point. Yes, he'll have +2 and maybe 1 or 2 Immortals, but that is it. To try and fend off against this, even if Rhett wanted to, just goes home and keeps macroing up. He doesn't really care. He's trying to make this work, but it doesn't have to right now.
And Rhett he can break down the Forge to cancel that attack upgrade.
Yeah.
With Hydralis coming to 11 more drones, he's got a 4th base coming in. He's actually going to go up to 83 drones. 83 drones.
This is Rhett in his element right now, I would like to say.
And now just a bunch of Hydras. He'll rush to Torrential Supply, make Hydras, and this becomes a very difficult game for BabyKnight. He does have +2 attack, he does have Blink, but it's Rhett, the Flying Dutchman, is making it work here in his WCS second attempt, falling short in the round of 32 in Season 1. Now in Season 2 is looking in shape. Much, much better than we've seen him play for a while. He played great earlier against Lorzane as well.
And the +3 weapons now on the way to try and hold off this base. There's not a whole lot. I mean, Rhett has vision everywhere on the map. If we go to his vision actually and look at this mini map, he knows everything that's going on. Nothing can take him by surprise at this point. Not even a Dark Shrine, ladies and gentlemen, can take him by surprise because the Overseer's just about to go on and have a look around.
Yeah, he knows what's going on. It's Immortal, it's Stalkers, it's a couple of Force Fields, and the third comes down. Rhett will probably, with his Zerkins on the left-hand side, just go poke up, have a quick look, be like, all right, there's the third down there. Is he attacking? Is he not? But look at the army. The upgrades coming in. Hydralis speed is coming in. There's going to be one final attack from Rhett to try to win the game. The Robotics Bay and Colossus at this point are needed more than any time before. He needs Colossus to try to break down these Lings and Hydralisks.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to have it by the time this assault hits. Rhett almost maxed out right now. Kills off a pylon for good measure with a few Lings, but that is not the end of the story just yet, as Rhett's entire army in the form of those Roaches, Hydras, and Lings is going to be slowly barreling through this, the middle of this map, and really bringing the pain to BabyKnight. BabyKnight, he doesn't really have that many sentries, so he doesn't have that much control in the force fields. The one saving grace that he may have is 4 Immortals, but he'd have to do it so well.
Immortals, not that good against Zerglings, though. Yeah. They're going to wrap around. +3 attack, though. That maybe. But look at Rhett's army. BabyKnight's in trouble. Rhett is just played this out very, very well.
Right, good force fields, actually, separate a lot of that army off, and will hold him at bay for now. But all Rhett does is say, well, time to go and hit your wall at the natural, and that's going to cause him all sorts of problems. He could even run into the main with a few of those Lings as well. doesn't want to get too divided up, doesn't want to lose too much of this army to that divide and conquer tactic that BabyKnight would probably want to go for. Zealots move on forwards. Good force fields once again. And he's holding on, but...
The Colossus is somewhere, right? It's stuck at the back. It's doing a couple of damage to a few Zerglings. He's holding on, but with 24 more Roaches in the production tab, maintaining a major supply lead, BabyKnight's doing well here, for sure.
Ooh, and the Colossus just survives with 4 health there. And army supplies 87 to 38 in favor of Rhett still.
But remember, 83 drones across 4 bases, which means he's never leaving a high income unless something happens to his economy. With 5th base coming down as well, he's already back to 188 supply. Another wave just like we saw is coming in. This time, look at that battered Protoss army. Now only 2 sentries, no mothership core. Colossus is bleeding, 5 immortals I think you said it was. Now there's 1. There's so many Hydras have just been made. He's 15 already out, 7 more on the way.
A lot. And, I mean, you raise a good point there when you say that the only thing that could really hurt Rhett now is if he took some damage to his economy. But BabyKnight just doesn't have the ability to focus anywhere else other than the defense. So Rhett knows how safe he is in regards to these assaults once again as he moves forwards towards the natural. Picking off that forge would be fantastic to deny some more upgrades from going down, but the Roaches and Hydralisks try and crash on in. The Colossus does end up going down, and Hydralisks against just an exclusive Gateway Immortal army are going to have a very, very fun time.
And Rhett wins it in his own style, you know? He's crushing through now. BabyKnight's in so much trouble, 200 supply to 98. Rhett does it by macro. 83 drones, 5 bases now, streams and streams of units making their way across from the 3rd base. It's been compromised once again here.
Stalkers coming in from either side to try and deny that, but it's not going to be enough here. Rhett just continuously streaming units across the map. And even if 1 or 2 Roaches in the back of this natural, shutting down a little bit more of that economy once again. He knows that he is in a position now where he is going to clinch one of those round of 16 spots, killing off StarCraft to Stalker. The Forge goes down, as well as the majority of the wall, including the Cybernetics core, and that Colossus gets chased down as well.
And so far, I mean, 3 round of 8 players have fallen short in the Season 2. Teal Debaga, BabyKnight, Rhett is the one that moves on to the round of 16. Not too many people put the combination of Wellmoot and Rhett making it through today's group. Congratulations, Rhett. He will play live from Cologne, Germany in the round of 16.
Who would have guessed? And that is the magic of WCS right now. You have players like Wellmu who are able to gain those positions through just sheer mountains of hard work, but likewise can't take it away from Rhett either. The practice involved in being able to defeat players like BabyKnight, players like Thorzane, is certainly there.
That's right. So Rhett moves on to the round of 16, joining Wellmu today and joining our 8 other players that we found out in the previous weeks. We will be having a Skype call with him very shortly, so do stay tuned for that, as we will be going to a very short commercial break in a couple of moments' time. Any last thoughts on that series?
Just well played by Rhett. Commiserations to BabyKnight. No longer in Premier. Will have to fight his way through Challenger once again.
Yeah, and that's another player from the round of 8 last season, not being able to push through this season. Very surprising. New people coming in, new players making their way through to the round of 16. But anyway, we're going to jump to a quick commercial break, and when we return, we'll have an interview with Rhett.
All right, guys, welcome back to the WCS Europe Season 2 Premier League, as we now have the second player to move on to the round of 16 from Group E on the line. It's Rhett. How are you doing, Rhett?
Good. Congratulations on making it to the round of 16. Great. I was just checking if everyone can hear you.
There we go. He's unmuted now.
Okay, so congratulations. Hello, Rhett. Welcome to the WCS show. I think you were muted before, so they didn't hear anything you said. But you can say everything and anything you want now.
Hello, I'm Rhett. Nice to meet you.
Perfect. All right, coming into Group E, Rhett, obviously competition across all the groups really is pretty high. What were your expectations coming into this group?
Well, I actually practiced more than ever for this group, so I was feeling pretty good before playing. And I think this group was pretty interesting because all the players are kind of equal or could beat each other on any other day. So, yeah, I'm really happy it all worked out in the end.
A lot of people, you know, on the forums and Twitter and whatnot, spoke about that. You know, you have problems with inconsistency, but you looked like a very different player today. Was it, as you said, just because you practiced a lot?
Yeah, man, I've been playing so much. Like I haven't shaved and I haven't really left the house, and I just been playing so many games. But I gotta say, it's been mostly against Terran, and the ZVP I showed today was not spectacular. So I'll have something to work on.
And to that, about your ZVP, against Welmu, how much did you know about Welmu's style, and then did he catch you off guard in that series across it?
Well, actually, I studied Welmu quite well. I knew that he opened one gate almost every game. So in the first game, that all worked out perfectly. And I just knew I had to look for pylons. But then in the second game on Star Station, I just couldn't get an Overlord in. Like the Nexus cannon killed my first Overlord, and then I was really totally clueless on what was happening by the time I was like, I had 2 Spore Callers in my main and Spore Spine in my main because I saw a Warp Prism kind of early. But then when the Blink came, I was just totally caught off guard. So I think no matter how much you know a player, when you're playing ZVP, if they hide their builds well, then it's still really hard.
What were your thoughts overall in the series against BabyKnight? How did you think that played out for you?
That pretty much went as expected. I think in the second game, if I just make a few more roaches there, I should be in a good position. But I was a little bit greedy, like I always am. So
there was a lot of discussions on that second game. I'd love to get your thoughts on that. You know, when you spotted the pylon very early on Belshir Vestige. Like, can you explain maybe your thought process from seeing him move out to the end of the game where he kind of still kept going at you?
Yeah, the idea was that I just killed a probe with speedlings, but he just snuck by with his mothership core chasing my ling off, and then the pylon got up. So then I can either make a lot of lings and kill that pylon, but with a mothership core there, sentries and more warpins, it's really tough. So I thought I would just counter him with lings, and I kept him busy for a long time. I think if I just make more roaches in that game, and maybe tech up a little bit slower, take my gases later, I should be able to hold my third base, and then it's a totally different game. But after I lost my third base, I was just running after him all the time and didn't really do anything.
Did you expect him to continue through with that? Because I think a lot of Protoss players at that point would have been like, all right, it's time to kind of go home.
Yeah.
Did you think he'd keep going?
After I scouted everything, even the double pylon and the +1 in the natural, I think most games play out in a way that Zerg has enough roaches, so it might have been better to go back. But he just kept going with 4 gas, which was really strange and no real tech. So, but it worked out for him with force fields and the mothership core. There's no real risk in staying there. You can always be cost efficient. So he did that quite well.
Well, looking forwards into the round of 16, we asked Welmu similar question. Now I'm going to throw this to you. There's already 10 players that are now in there, including yourself. Is there anybody in particular that you wouldn't mind playing, or anybody that you want to particularly avoid, aside from maybe MVP?
I think that with my recent practice and how things have been going, I would like to play Terran players. Okay. Out of all the players in there, there's no one I really am too afraid of or have a losing record against. I'm even 4-1 against MVP in tournament games. Ooh. Just saying.
Just saying.
Just throwing it out there, not bragging or anything.
Can you describe to us a little bit about your training method? You mentioned it a couple of times now. What's different to normal that are you doing?
I've just been playing a lot of custom games with a lot of good players.
Oh, okay.
Before, I would always just play a lot of ladder. And you get like a different matchup every game, different map, different build. But I really sat down and played against the same race, same strategy, same map over and over for this one, which I think, at least in my training, has been very efficient.
So now leading up to next week, so the round of 16, I think, will be drawn on the last day of the round of 32. So you've got like 8 days. In between the drawing for the round of 16, do you plan on training specifically or just taking a larger approach until you know exactly who you're playing against?
I probably just work on my weak points, which is probably going to be a lot of ZVP, and then a lot more ladder as well, because I will have to face Zerg players again next round probably. So I will try to work up all my matchups to a similar level. And there's DreamHack Valencia to prepare for, so it's not going to get any less busy anytime soon.
Busy schedules. Well, that does it from me. Any questions from you?
Make sure to bring a beach ball with you, mate, because I'll see you there.
Sounds good, man. Let's play some beach soccer.
Let's play some volleyball together.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Rhett, and congratulations for moving on to the round of 16.
Thank you very much.
All right, congratulations. Cheerio.
Bye-bye.
All right, well, there you have it. There's Rhett. It's going to bring a beach ball, play some football and some volleyball in Valencia.
I'm scared. Do you know why I'm scared?
Because
he said he was 4-1 against MVP. There might be a pattern emerging here for Liquid players. There might be TLO saying, I want MVP. And then there might be Rhett here being like, 4-1, I want MVP. Well, he didn't say
like,
that to a...
It was so funny when TLO said that, MVP was like, oh, great, that's easy for me. That was like his response.
It's like,
what was his exact words, if I'm not mistaken? So anyone that watched Season 1, I'm pretty sure he said, oh, that's great, you're the worst player in the round of 16 or the round of 8.
Did he really?
I'm pretty sure he said you're the weakest player in the round of 16. That was MVP's response. It may not be the same as, Rhett's very well known in the Korean scene, of course, being a Brood War pro and played back there way back when, and is, of course, a very popular Zerg player in StarCraft 2.
All right, well, that wraps everything up for today in Group E. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing to you. Tomorrow we have Group F, which consists of User, Bly, Lucifron, and Naniwa.
That's right, Naniwa himself. That's going to be the first game of tomorrow, Lucifron versus Naniwa. It's going to be a great day for games tomorrow.
What a scorcher. So thanks very much for tuning in, guys. Make sure to hashtag WCS as much as possible. Tweet at us, tweet all the social media networks that you possibly can do. As join us tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central European Summer Time for Group F. Bye for now.